All right, gang. Well, Teresa and I have lots of great stuff to share with you, so let's get right down to business. You are in the right place. You have not hit the wrong button. You have not gotten misdirected on the interwebs. You are here for 7 keys to speaking driven success. And so let's establish right here, right now, if you're in the right spot. My guess is that you are. Looking over this roster of rock stars that are here with us, this is for you if you want to become a better entrepreneur of your expertise. What does that mean? That means that you are marketing your smarts. So this is for speakers, authors, coaches, consultants, trainers, thought-leading entrepreneurs, and professional service providers. Basically, if you use your expertise, you use your knowledge, you use your wisdom to create unique breakthroughs and results for your clients and audiences, this is going to be a bullseye for you. There's nothing for sale on this webinar. You can sit back, you can relax. I would turn off all your distractions, get the heck off Facebook, turn off YouTube, get off your email. Please get off your email. Silence your phone, close your office door, pay close attention, and take good notes so that you can apply these strategies immediately and start to move the needle on your business. Stick around until the end of this webinar. I've got a special gift, as usual, for the folks that stay till the bitter end. A couple of new things in the mix, couple of things we added to our little gift basket of goodies that you'll get for hanging out with us till the bitter end. And let's just make sure that we're going to be addressing some of the issues that are the most important to you. So let's see if some of this sounds familiar. Do you have trouble getting clients and don't know how to do it consistently? And the word consistently is the word to underline there. Do you suffer from the feast or famine revenue roller coaster, with the ups and the downs, and some months are great and some months are terrible and some months are in between, and you never know what month this month is going to be? Do you have great content and you get great results for your clients, but you're lost in a sea of noise? You just don't stand out. You feel like a best kept secret to prospects who have never worked with you before. Do you secretly know that your work is worth a whole lot more than what you're charging right now, but you're afraid that if you raise your fees, no one will pay them? You start out every month wondering where your next prospect, where your next lead, where your next gig, where your next coaching client or speaking gig is going to come from. And are you working just way too hard for not enough money and you just can't put your finger on how to fix it? And I'll tell you, welcome to the first 3 years of my speaking business. How am I so intimately familiar with all of these kind of pains and problems and frustrations and heartaches? This is how I started. I don't know of anybody that hit the gate, made hundreds of thousands of dollars, and said, "Oh yeah, this was easy. This was a piece of cake. I should have done this years ago." Right? It's always harder than you think, and it's never as easy as it looks. This is a very, very easy business to get into, and it's a very, very challenging business to succeed at. So let's start to unpack this for you. Let's make sure that you guys don't need to struggle any more than you absolutely need to, or perhaps already have. So we're going to give you a little sneak peek into our world. What Teresa and I do on a daily basis is we work with speakers, authors, coaches, consultants, and experts to help them build a profitable speaking-driven business. We're going to walk you through some of the stages and steps with case studies. So this is a sort of a sneak peek behind the scenes, client case studies, how these folks came in, what they were wrestling with, how they came out on the other end. So you will see some best practices, some templates, some tools, some scripts, some strategies. And I want you to steal these. I want you to use these. That's why we're sharing them with you. And then we will see where we end up at the end of our time together today. So the first thing I'm going to share with you is that you have a problem. You may have actually a series of 3 different problems. Luckily, none of them are this bad. None of them are this bad where on the back of this SUV it says, "Dear Dave, tell your girlfriend, your wife, and kids say hi. P.S. I cleaned out the bank. You're broke. Love, Nikki and the kids." Teresa, have you imagine seeing this on your car? Would this be a good day or a bad day?
This would be a really bad day. I
This
can't
would be
even
a really bad
imagine.
day. This would not be cool. And then, of course, it's in that permanent chalk, so you're gonna have a hard time washing that off your car. So it's kind of embarrassing when you get home, and then your neighbors see the car. And anyway, your problems are not that bad, but let's talk about what they are. Number one, no value prop. See if this sounds familiar in any way, shape, or form. And again, be honest here, guys. Me messaging. This is called speaker-centric messaging as opposed to client-centric or value-centric messaging. Same old lame-old language, no articulation, no distinction, total generalist, jack of all trades, master of none. What you're doing is you're guessing, you're hoping, you're winging it. You're saying, hey, you want to buy a watch? Hey, you want to buy a candy bar? You want time management? You want leadership? You want sales? And you're totally all over every topic with no expertise and no value prop. Second big mistake, I'm going to ask you guys which one of these is more prominent for you. So pay attention here. Second one, no target market. Everyone needs better leadership. Everyone needs more sales. Everyone needs to be a better communicator. Everyone messaging, offerings all over the map for that reason, no depth of expertise. The perception you're putting in the marketplace is that of a dabbler, and it's a very low confidence approach. You're not willing to put any weight behind any particular thing because you're afraid that if you dedicate yourself to that, there won't be enough business, right? And so you dedicate yourself to everything, every market, every niche, every topic, and that means no niche, no target, no topic, and things get really, really hard. Number 3, no sales process. And this held me back for years, literally. Accidental selling. You never know mindset. Well, you never know where the next lead is coming from. Let me do a whole bunch of free speaking and start going broke, and maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe I'll be the Hollywood starlet who gets discovered waiting tables at the diner. Random tactics. Every sale goes down differently. Completely reactive in the sales process, not proactive, not selecting your targets, not intentionally befriending your prospects, not specifically saying these are the types of corporations, associations, groups, and conferences that I want to work with. So, truth-telling time, gang. In the question box, which one is yours? Let me go back. Let me review and refresh. Number 1, problem with your value prop. Just type in no value prop if that's the most important one for you. And we're going to fix all these. I just want to kind of see where you are right now. Second one, no target market. Just put no target market if you want to spell it out. And then number 3, no sales process. No sales process. So those are your choices. Number 1, no value prop, or just say 1. Number 2, no target market. Number 3, no sales process. We can't fix it. We can't help you if we don't know which one is yours. So Teresa, without using names necessarily, what is there a winner? Is there a theme emerging here?
Absolutely. No sales process. That daily revenue producing activity is missing for a lot of these people. We got a couple of people with a few combinations, 1 and 3, 2 and 3 for sure. No value prop and no sales process. So yeah, number 3, we've got no target market, a couple of those. Yeah, these are all pretty common, David. They're all here.
All right, so here's the mantra. Mantra number 1, write this down. Sales happen daily. Sales happen daily. If sales are not happening daily, I am simply telling you point blank, you need some help. Sales happen daily. Sales activity absolutely happens daily, and you should be holding yourself to the standard that you are closing some kind of business for a keynote, seminar, a coaching engagement, a consulting project, a workshop, an online program. Something that you're doing needs to be hitting your bank account, needs to be hitting your merchant account. You're collecting checks, you're collecting credit cards, you're getting checks in the door every day. If not, write this down. I need help. I need help. Because the 0 sales days become the 0 sales weeks, become the 0 sales months, become the 0 sales quarters, and now we're putting on the green apron and working at Starbucks. And I don't want you guys to have to suffer through that. So let's talk about building a real business. So one of our favorite recent clients. Second, I would say Tom Woods probably number 1. Tom Woods probably number 1 because, Tom's on this masterclass right now. But number 2 is going to be Dr. Mike Thompson. And Mike came into the program in his own words, hunting wabbits, gig to gig to gig to gig. No proactive, no nothing. Let's see what comes in. $1,000 here, 1,500 there, 2,500 there, whatever it was. He was taking it, and he was just kind of hunting and fishing in the general ocean of his market. Let's see where Mike ended up. He decided on sponsorship. We're going to talk about sponsorship. There's a whole section coming up today on sponsorship and how sponsorship works and what sponsored speaking is. But he really latched onto that. He said one sponsor's talking to me about a $50,000 program, and another one just signed, like signed, sealed, delivered, a $75,000 a year sponsorship for the next 3 years. So that's $225,000. I can't say enough about David personally, and his mentoring program made all the difference. I've stopped hunting wabbits, and I'm finally building a real business around my speaking. So let's talk about what the steps are. When Mike came into the program, when Tom came into the program, when all of our folks came in, they were coming in different levels of success. Some folks are still working the day job. Some folks have been doing speaking and coaching and consulting for 30 years. And the foundation is what we call Smart Start. Smart Start is about building a strategy, making some foundational decisions, and creating a revenue roadmap. So the first part of this is, what's the empire look like? What's your business model? What's your speaking model? What's your revenue model? You're not going to build a 6-figure or multi-6-figure or even 7-figure speaking-driven business by accident, so we got to help you map it out. Let's talk about business model. Question here is, what are you building? Are you building an organization? Are you building a solo practice? Is it a consultancy with other consultants going out under your banner? Is it there's an online component to what you do? Is it an e-learning company? What is it that we're building? What's the end game? What's the empire look like? Second set of decisions is around your speaking model. What kind of work do you want? Think in terms of length, format, audience, topic. What you don't want is the Chinese menu syndrome. The Chinese menu syndrome is everything is on the menu and nothing is particularly good. When you walk into your favorite Chinese restaurant, and by the way, if you have that as your menu, here he is, Arnold. What's Arnold saying? Type it in the question box. When a buyer sees the menu and it's sales, leadership, customer service, communication, presentation skills, basket weaving, boat building, chair recaning, when a buyer sees that, this is their face. I can tell you because I've seen hundreds of faces like this. What's Arnold saying? Type it in the question box. Are people as old as we are, Teresa, or no?
Oh, yes. Why is it that I can still hear his voice in my head? It's crazy. Yes. We got David Schultz and Etrulia, Dave Mediba, Morgan Oakes, Billy, Johanna, Bert, David, Kathleen, all. What you talking about, Willis?
What you talking about, Willis? Exactly right. So you don't want this face from your buyers. You do not want this face from your buyers. Here's what you want. You want to be the specialist. You want to be known for that one special dish circled on your menu where all the competition falls away, all the noise falls away. You can work on being the preeminent speaker, consultant, coach, and expert that has that angle, that perspective, that topic, that expertise becomes the centerpiece of your entire speaking-driven business. So, second set of questions. Let's talk about depth, duration, and detail. Speaking model is how will you deliver what you want to deliver. Keynote format, half day, full day, multi-day, retreats, boot camps, weekends, trainings, workshops, seminars, facilitation, CEO roundtables, strategic work sessions. What's on your menu? So people say, yeah, Teresa, yeah, Billy, yeah, Frank, yeah, Tom, yeah, Barbara. I want that. How can we buy it? Right? Small, medium, large, and supersize. But you have to decide that. So what's on the menu? Here's a sample menu. Speaking, anywhere from $45, $55, $7,500 per program. Training days, same range. Coaching packages, $6,000, $10,000, $12,000 program. Monthly coaching, 90-day, 3-month coaching package. Consulting can go even higher. Consulting can be literally 6 figures, multi-6-figure revenue stream just on its own. $5,000 a month, $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month. licensing your intellectual property to companies or to other consultants, $50,000 to $100,000 a year revenue stream. We can turn that on. And then sponsorship. Sponsorship, and like I said, all of these we're going to talk more about later. Sponsorship is coming up towards the end of our time together. So $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 sponsorships. You already saw Mike Thompson. You already saw that he closed a $225,000 deal, $75,000 per year for 3 years. Signed, sealed, delivered, done. That didn't happen by accident. That happened by Mike deciding, I want to have that sponsorship revenue model as an integral part of my business. So you plan it, you map it out, you implement, you track the results, you get to the goal. That's how that works. So let's talk about case study number one. Case study number one with business model. So this is Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump, right? So it's actually not Forrest Gump, but it is Forrest Gump impersonator. And imagine just getting paid to sit. By the way, this picture here is in front of Bubba Gump Shrimp. So he's hired for $300 to sit in front of the restaurant and get photos with people, etc., etc. So this is Steve Weber as Forrest Gump, and this is what he was putting up with for about $300 a day. This is what he was putting up with, Steve. So we said, you know what? There's a main stage keynote speaker hiding in there somewhere, and there was, and he totally transformed his business model and his speaking model and his revenue model. And so now it's Steve Weber as a speaker, as a conference host, and as a messenger for the Gumption experience. Gumption being one of the key concepts that he picked up out of the Forrest Gump movie. Speaking Gump fee schedule, you can see he's no longer doing $300 gigs, but he's speaking for $55,000, $62,000, $12,000. The conference hosting fees, all inclusive, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day conference. You can see how that's panning out. Totally revolutionized his business. Now, he also, in addition to doing that on a day-to-day basis, he said, I like the sponsorship thing too. And what can I do with sponsorship? And so he decided to take his school program and make the Student Gumption Montana tour, because he's from Montana. Montana has one of the lowest high school graduation rates. There are just about 1,000 public and private schools across the state of Montana, and he's submitting this to large corporate sponsors, the Department of Education in Montana, some employer organizations. Who's got a vested interest in taking Montana out of the bottom few states with high school graduation rates and putting them back in the middle or even back on top? That is his sponsorship strategy. So, what is one new idea that you will use from Module 1? Write that down. Write that down. One new idea about your business model, one new idea about your revenue model, one new idea about your speaking model. Write that down somewhere, or type it in the question box, and write it down. But I want to hear one new idea. When you say, okay, I'm going to map out the empire, I'm going to have a strategic foundation. Whether you've ever had it, whether you've been doing this for a few months or a few years or a few decades, right? Mike Thompson, very successful guy. He'd been doing it for decades and making a good living, not a great living, but a good living with not a lot of strategy, not a lot of business model, not a lot of speaking model, and not a lot of revenue model. You know what the revenue model is? Hamster wheel, and let me get as much as I can from this one. And then let me get as much as I can from the next one. And then let me get as much as I can from the third one. And that is a hard, exhausting way to make a living. It really is. It's a hard, exhausting way to make a living. So Teresa, what are some new ideas that people are taking away for their own business model, revenue model, and speaking model?
Just some simple business model changes. Tom says, hunt, hunt, hunt. Thinking small gets you small. Elephants have a lot more to lose. That's an interesting perspective. And we've got Dorothy says, reinvestigate and work sponsor ops. And Julia has a question we can probably answer later. She's asking how to leverage my experience for school principals. So
Yeah,
that's
great.
a new idea she's considering.
Yeah. Love that. Very, very good. So let's catch up here with Steve Weber. Uh, so at the end of our program, he says, during our work, we mapped out my 3-year plan designed to produce $1.4 million in revenue. David helped me implement and accelerate both my planning and my doing. Working with David has helped me leverage my business into some serious revenue. And that is Steve Weber at speakinggump.com. So moving on, second of our 7 keys is positioning, naming, branding, how to reposition from a speaker to a problem solver. First thing is you really have to declare your expertise. You cannot be hiding under this generalist, same old, lame-o blanket anymore. You have to also understand that meeting planners and conference producers and corporate executives, they buy labels. They need clarity to figure out what problems you solve. So are you all about sales? Are you all about leadership? Are you all about IT security? Are you all about yak herding? That plus more is not a very strong position or label. So think of this as the CNN test. Here's poor Kevin Johnson. He's on national television, global television, and his label is hacker. But you need that clarity. You need that level of conciseness. You need that level of brevity. So let's talk about your target market, because your target market's the one that's going to resonate with your label. 4 keys to having a successful target market. Number 1 is, do you have access to that market? Is your topic relevant to that market? Do they want to solve the problem that you are claiming to solve? And is there an immediate value to what you do? Is there a return on their investment? Is there a heartache, a headache, a pain, or a problem that they are already wanting to solve? And when you show up on the scene, they slap their heads, they give you a big hug and a kiss and say, thank goodness you're here. We were looking to solve this somehow. So one of the shortcuts to doing that is by having a well-articulated name or brand or title, not just for your company, but for your programs, for your keynotes, for everything that you do. Think about these following questions. What image do your prospects get in the first 2 seconds? So when it's your name and associates, when it's your initials and consulting, I absolutely hate these 2 names because they are indicative of a huge lack of creativity, lack of imagination, and lack of concern for having a client-centric message. So if it's David Newman and Associates, who's that about? It's about David Newman. Wrong answer. DJN Consulting, which are my initials, again, totally meaningless, same old lame-o. It's almost like I'm commoditizing myself when my name sounds like a generic, stupid, name it after yourself. Here's my clever initials. It's W for my dog. It's J for my best friend. It's K for the cat that I used to have in high school. Are you kidding me? No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Second question, what price point does your name suggest? Is it super cheap auto or is it super expensive boutique? So every name, every title, every brand has connotations, it has suggestions, it has ideas that it brings to the forefront. Not the literal name, but what does it suggest? What does it hint at? Third big important question when you're doing your naming, branding, and titling, what limitations are inherent in your name? So here's Whole Foods, now known as Amazon.com, but the store's still called Whole Foods. Would you think that's a good place to buy tires? Probably not. Will they ever get out of the food business? I don't think so. Why? It's called Whole Foods. Whole Foods is going to have a very hard time selling tires or jewelry or anything else. So, also think about the level of audience that's associated with your naming and your titles. Are you just another same old lame-o speaker? What's people's gut response? Do they get it? Do they need it? Do they want it? Do they have that lean forward impact on people when you tell them the name? And is it aligned so you can use the same brand for your books, your products, a column in the business journal, all of your other ancillary services? If yes, great. If no, we need to fix that. So let's talk about Tom Davidson. Tom Davidson, and it's funny because Tom now speaks about this and writes about this, about generalist versus expert. He used to be a leadership guy, and he wrote a great leadership book, and his domain and website and brand was Davidson Leadership. So we said, okay, what do you really want to do? And what he really wanted to do is leadership development for natural resource professionals, because Tom's background is as a forester himself. He has a fabulous HR background. He's a certified speaking professional like I am, and he rebranded everything to be the specific go-to leadership guy in the natural resource industry. So, because great leaders don't grow on trees, he's got the nature background. Let's see how far he actually took this. He's got a customized white label disc profile that is called the rangefinder, because the rangefinder is a forestry term. So there are companies that will white label their assessments under your brand or your theme or your company metaphor, so to speak. His blog is called Spot Fires, because every forester, every forest ranger, every lumber industry executive knows what a spot fire is. His business cards and postcards are made out of wood. Teresa, do you believe this?
I do. It's right there. I see it. I think it's
right
brilliant.
there. It's right there. So it's different kinds of wood. There's balsa wood, there's pine, there's oak, there's all kinds of things. He hands these out and people are blown away. Like blown away. It's actual wood. It's not paper. It's not paper that looks like wood. It's actually thin veneer slices of wood. And he mails these postcards out in the U.S. mail. They're U.S. mail approved. He hands people the business card when he meets them or when he encloses a copy of his book. And he has gone all in on this. He's got testimonials from the CEO of the Society of American Foresters. He's got testimonials from the Deputy Chief of the United States Forest Service. And he is going deep, deep, deep into this industry. So much so that Tom and I co-authored an article in the National Speakers Association Speaker Magazine that actually mapped his journey from little-known generalist to well-known expert. And he asked me to write a sidebar about our coaching and mentoring relationship and what I helped him do, what I helped him stop, what I helped him start, what I helped him turn up and turn on and do differently. So huge, huge success story. Tom gets the credit because Tom did the work. My question for you is, having seen that now, I know that Teresa and I just raised the bar way high on you, but be honest, scale of 1 to 10, scale of 1 to 10, 1 being terrible, 10 being awesome, perfect, I'm getting off the webinar now. How effective is your current naming, branding, titling, and positioning? Are you going to be the Tom Davidson of your industry, or do you look like, sound like, smell like, taste like everyone else that does what you do, and your poor clients and your poor prospects, they just can't tell the difference? So type a number from 1 to 10. And again, I hugely appreciate the honesty. I really, really do. Because again, if we can't diagnose it, then we can't help you fix it. But how effective is it? Are you 1? Are you 3, 4, 7, 8, 8.5? Where are we with your effectiveness, having seen what's now possible when you go deep instead of broad? When the naming, the branding, the titling, everything is aligned. Everything is working together. Teresa and I call this a self-contained marketing ecosystem and a self-reinforcing marketing ecosystem where people immediately start getting better results on everything that they're doing because everything supports everything else. So let's see where we are on this. How are people doing?
We got a lot of 1s, David. We've got a lot of 1s, 2s, and 3s. We've got an 8 from one of your previous courses, so somebody took action on a webinar just like this.
Nice.
We got 5. I have fingers in too many pots. That would be a problem. We've got some 4s and 5s, a couple of 8s. Good job. Visually, I could improve. I like the example you shared, as you can see the consistency. Great point.
Right. Love it. Excellent. All right, let's see where Tom ended up. Applying David's marketing principles and sales practices, especially around laser focusing on serving my niche market, resulted in doubling my business in year 1 and then doubling it again in year 2. And that is Tom Davidson of Leadership Nature. So huge, huge success story there. Let's look at the third step, the third key. Goals, targets, focus. How to get to the right prospects, how to do a competitive scan, how to become a student of the game, really, to educate yourself on what you need to do to be successful. So here's a big tip before we start. Everyone is not a target market. Screenshot that, make a poster, make a bumper sticker, put it up in your office. Everyone is not a target market. So here's step one. You got to decide. Have you decided whom you really want to serve? Two very powerful words. Decide and define. Decide and define. Because really, you attract what you define. If you don't know what it looks like, you'll never know when you see it. Think about that, gang. If you don't know what it looks like, you will never know when you see it. And this is a huge, huge pivot point for many, many of our prospects, many of our clients that we work with also, that when we have a conversation with them about what they're doing and what they want to do, and we said, do you know what a really good, high-paying, great fit client would even look like? And they say, no, I really don't. Because I've been too busy being broad and general and shotgun and spray and pray. So here's all kinds of different birds. And the world is full of all kinds of different birds. We've got the yellow bird, the red bird, this brownish bird, the black and yellow bird, the blue bird. All these birds are good birds. They are. But if this is your market, you got a serious problem. More importantly, let's say that you're after the red bird and you go, ooh, I found one. I found one. Got one. Teresa, I got one.
You got one?
Found a red
That's
one.
amazing.
Found a red one. Now, here, you might say, okay, well, that's nice. You get lucky. Once in a while, red bird lands on your fence. That's great. How about we go bird watching and we find this tree? If we go bird watching and we find this tree, do you think you'll make a lot more money than seeing which red bird lands on your back fence? You got to go out in the woods, people. You got to go out in the woods. You got to find the right forest. You got to find the right trees. In those right trees are a ton of birds that you are after, the red birds, and you will have many lifetimes of business in this particular forest that is filled with this kind of tree that attracts this kind of bird. Stay in your office, stay in your backyard. Let's see who lands on the fence. Ouch. Now, I'm not saying red birds are the answer. Maybe bluebirds are the answer. I don't care. I really don't care. Teresa, do we care?
No, you
We
just
really
got to
don't.
know what you're looking for.
You gotta know what you're looking for. Exactly. So I'm looking somewhere else. I'm putting out this little bird bath here, and I'm going to attract 6, 8, 10 blue birds because what I'm putting in that bird bath is specific to attract those 6 or 8 or 10 blue birds. So 3 critical questions. When you're saying, okay, Newman, what are you talking about? Red birds, blue birds, yellow birds? Here's 3 questions to find your birds. Who suffers from it more greatly, meaning the problems and pains and heartaches and headaches that you're brilliant at solving? Who suffers from it more greatly? Who's got the biggest gaps, the biggest problems with this? Who needs it more desperately? And thus, who will value it more highly? Answer those 3 questions, and the red birds will start to emerge. The yellow birds for you will start to emerge. The blue birds, if you're after bluebirds, they will start to emerge, and you can now ignore everybody else. If you're in the red bird business, don't worry about chasing the blue ones. Don't worry about chasing the yellows and the blacks and anybody else. Here's what you do. You target what you want, and you can always talk to whoever lands on your back fence. Target what you want, and you can always take what comes. Very, very important. Now, once you've made that decision, you've done the decide and define step in step number 3 here, key number 3. Ask yourself some research questions. What do they read? Where do they gather? What are they already talking about? What are the hot button issues? Who else is in their ecosystem? And then, for example, if I want to go after banking, I'm going to go down the path of finding the banking magazines, the banking conferences, banking industry news websites. I'm going to scan banking industry headlines in my business journal, in the business section of my papers. I'm going to Google banking speaker, banking expert, banking consultant. I'm going to see who else is out there in the ecosystem. And I'm going to find a ton of red birds. I'm going to find a ton of red birds. I'm going to find Private Banking Magazine, Bank Advisor, local, regional, national, international, banking, publications, magazines, blogs, portals, communities. Then I'm going to hit my friend Google. I'm going to type in banking conference. I'm going to find all kinds of banking conferences, national, regional. I'm going to find ones from past years. I'm going to find ones for this year. I'm going to find what they're doing next year. I'm going to find old. I'm going to find new. I'm going to link to the current. I am going to be a student of this. I'm going to be a detective. I'm going to find out what were they doing 2 years ago? What were they doing 3 years ago? What topics have been missing from their conference lineup where I could fill a gap, I could add some value, I could add some distinction to what they're already doing. Oh, they have publications. Well, maybe I should write an article. Oh, they have webinars and audio conferences. Maybe I should reach out and talk to them about starting doing something like that for them. So there is unlimited prospecting, easy research that you are not doing. I guarantee this. There is easy, at your fingertips research right now that could be generating business for you that you are not doing. Either because you don't know how, or you're lazy, or you're confused, or you think it's about making 5,000 cold calls and it's not, or batching out, 1,000 emails or 1,000 postcards and it's not. So let's look at case study number 3. Case study number 3 is Scott McClymonds, CEO of Velocity. Scott came in with a totally different company name, totally different brand, totally different everything. He is truly a banking and financial services marketing expert. And we're able to boil this down very concisely. He says it's a consulting and coaching firm helping leaders of financial institutions and mid-market businesses acquire ideal customers and build profitable relationships. Boom, period, end of sentence. Now, the way that he monopolized that is we say, okay, what are the overlapping areas of expertise that make you distinct? He says, I have a background in business intelligence, marketing, and leadership. I said, boom, dude, that is it. That's the golden intersection of where you want to be. So how are you uniquely positioned between business intelligence, marketing, and leadership? Well, I can help them find and connect with ideal customers. Great. I can help develop leaders and employees who are focused on those customers. Fantastic. And I can empower them with systems and knowledge. That's the business intelligence part, to create and deliver great customer value. All of this in 1 sentence and 3 bullets and about 4 weeks of mentoring. So it took Scott about 4 weeks to boil this down, make the decisions, make the distinctions. But now he's crushing it. He is just crushing it because everything is aligned. Everything is working. This guy's been published 40 to 50 times in all of the huge magazines and publications and trade journals in his industry, including Credit Union Business that I'm showing you here with a cover story. He's got a column, not just in one publication, but in several, called CEO Velocity. Now remember, his company name is CEO Velocity. Imagine if I had the Do It Marketing column in 50 business journals going all across the country. I'd be a pretty happy camper. So Scott has a CEO Velocity column in all the top publications that his folks read, recognize, and respect. He is developing screen after screen after screen. This is his media page on his website. Teresa, this goes down literally, and we've talked about this on some of our coaching and mentoring calls with our clients, where I showed them this. This goes down about 5 screens. It's about 45, 47, 48 articles that he's now published as the go-to expert when it comes to business intelligence, marketing, and leadership in the credit union world. So I want you to name one way right now in the question box. Name one way that you will tighten your focus, tighten your targets, and tighten your goals. Because I showed you that the way Scott did it: laser beam, rifle, not shotgun, total domination of his niche, total specificity to his offering and his focus. So name one way. Either name something you'll stop, or declare a topic expertise or a subtopic expertise, like our friend Tom Davidson, leadership for natural resource professionals, Scott McClymonds, business intelligence, marketing, and leadership. for financial services. Do you see the specialist value of that? Where you're saying, man, this is perfect for us. So if you can name one way that you're going to tighten your focus, tighten down your targets, and tighten down your goals so that you start to establish yourself as the clearly branded, highly distinct, go-to expert in your field. This one's tough. I know I'm asking you to think very big now about your business and about your speaking-driven revenue streams, but this applies to everything that you're doing. This applies to your speaking, your coaching, your consulting, your training, your workshops, your book, or books, your online courses, your mentoring programs, your CEO roundtables, whatever you're doing online, offline, in person. Teresa, are people making some good commitments?
We've got a couple. I think people are in deep thought. We don't have a lot of responses, but we've got David is on this like, you know what, it's target audience, set my goals, and define my niche, all three of them. So thank you, David. That sounds like great work. We've got change branding, Jim says. This is the hardest part, Bert said, and you're right, Bert, it is. But it is the most crucial,
Yeah.
and it is the most important to everything else you'll do.
Very, very much so. Now, again, we're not even halfway yet. We're not even halfway through the content. We're more than halfway through our time, but we're not even halfway through the content because then this speeds up. But let me share with you what Scott got out of this. He said, very excited about the results. In the pipeline are 3 paid speaking engagements at high-profile conferences, a large systems project with a top 10 U.S. bank, credit union CEO mastermind groups, a year-long CEO leadership intensive with the largest state-based credit union trade association in the country. And all of that is from drilling down the goals, the targets, and the focus. Drilling down the goals, the targets, and the focus. So guys, listen, I'm going to pull the curtain back here a little bit. Some of you already know that you need some help. And if you're committed and you already know that you want some help with this, go here right now. Teresa's going to pop this in the question box if you don't mind. doitmarketing.com/apply. What are we doing here today? Run a webinar. Why are you here? Because you wanted to be here. Because you've got some serious gaps in your business and things are not going 100% the way that you want. So my question for you, kind of stepping out of the webinar here, are you guys doing enough of this kind of value-first marketing in your business to attract the people that might want to work with you? So it's important when you're doing value-first marketing that there's always a next step that someone can take. Don't leave people hanging with great content and think that's enough. It's not enough. And it's why some of your businesses are struggling. So here's your next step. It's right here on the screen. Teresa popped it in the question box, so that's a clickable link. Write this down, doitmarketing.com/apply. If you're the kind of person who's impatient, you already know that you want our help to fix some of these problems in your speaking-driven business. You want to go from 5 figures to 6 or 6 figures to multiple 6, or maybe even multiple 6 figures to 7. That's where you can book a call and let's talk about what you need to fix, upgrade, and improve. And that's at doitmarketing.com/apply. That door is open for you. We'll talk about that for a couple minutes at the very end, but that's how we're willing and able to help you. All right, number 4, key number 4 out of 7, strategic prospecting. And again, this is a huge downfall where people don't do enough of it, and they don't do enough of it the right way. So the key question to ask yourself now is, who has your next prospect on their client list? Who has your next prospect for a speech, a seminar, a keynote, a workshop, a training, consulting client, coaching client, whatever it might be? Who has your next prospect on their client list? Who else is out there? What are these other people in your niche, in your field, in your expertise? What are they saying? What are they doing? And what are they not doing? So here's where you're doing your competitive scan. It is very hard to be a distinct voice in the marketplace if you don't know who the other voices are. It is very distinct, it's very hard rather, very difficult to have a distinct thought leadership platform if you don't know what you are distinguishing yourself from. So you need to become a student of the game. I mentioned that earlier. You have to watch the game tapes. You have to see who the other teams are. You have to see who the other players are and what the plays are that they're making out there. So become a student of the speaking-driven expert game. I want you to make 2 lists. Make 2 lists after this masterclass is over. One is your dream exposure opportunities, what Teresa and I call your DEO. The other is your dream revenue opportunities, or your DRO. And when you do your competitive scan, figure out where are these other people speaking. Maybe some of those are your dream exposure opportunities where you know it's a target-rich environment and your next few prospects are hiding in that audience. Maybe it's a dream revenue opportunity and you know that there's money to be made at those conferences and those events and those associations and those companies and those groups. So Google is your friend. Google your topic and the word speaker. So I would Google marketing speaker. I would Google, if you're a leadership person, leadership speaker. You get the idea, just plug and play. Google your topic and the word expert. Google your topic and the word consultant. Google your topic on all of this. How many results do you get? This is what I want you to see. A ton, and you will get depressed. You will get depressed, you will get sad, you will want to throw in the towel and go work at Starbucks. Just give me the green apron. I don't care. There's a million leadership speakers. I don't stand a chance. There's a million customer service speakers. I don't stand a chance. There's a million personal finance speakers. I don't stand a chance. You will get depressed. My advice to you is do not get depressed. Don't get depressed. Imagine an NFL football player watching the game tapes going, wow, they're good. I suck. I guess I'll throw in the towel. You don't watch the game tapes so that you quit. You watch the game tapes so you get better. You watch the game tapes so that you get better. One of the ways you're going to get better is to start creating your obvious choice documents. So in our program, Teresa and I coach and mentor people through this. We're going to give this one to you now. Top 7 reasons to hire you. And now, we don't care if it's 7 reasons, 8 reasons, 10 reasons, whatever. You get the idea. Dave Caperton came through the program. He was an overachiever. He did 10. So I've got a screenshot here of top 10 reasons to hire Dave. The 7 that I like and that I want you to steal, and again, screenshot this if you want to: expertise, currency, relevance, easy to work with, interaction, experience, and authenticity. What does that mean? That you bring real expertise to the table, that you are current and you are relevant, you are up to date, torn from the headlines. That's currency. Relevance is when you're talking to banking, you've got banking stories and examples. When you're talking to construction, you've got construction stories and examples. You are customizing and tailoring, and you are a high relevant speaker. Easy to work with means you're not a pain in the butt. You're responsive. You're friendly. You're fun. You're maybe even the best part of their day when you call or when they call you. Interaction means you're not a talking head one-way data dump, that you're going to have an interactive experiential program. Experience means this is not your first rodeo. Experience means that you've sat in the buyer's chair, you know what's going on, you've got the scars to prove it. And then authenticity is you're willing to share the good, the bad, and the ugly. You're willing to share the warts, you're willing to share your own shortcomings and where you've learned and how you've learned and where you've hit brick walls and where things got hard. You're willing to share where things got hard for you personally as you were figuring this out. Now, obvious choice document number 2 is going to have your 4 arrows. The 4 arrows is showing exactly how and where you fit in their world. So the way the 4 arrows works, it's arrow 1, arrow 2, and arrow 4. Arrow 1 and 2 is what they're already doing. Arrow 3, the third arrow, the third step in this diagram, is what you do, and that's a different color. And then arrow number 4 is the final outcome that they really, really want and really, really need. So I'll give you a couple examples of this. You can do this with sales, leadership, customer service, career, parenting, you name it. I mean, anything. Communication skills, presentation skills, online, social media, any topic, anywhere, anytime, this will fit if you're willing to put in the work. So we've got sales, we've got leadership, we've got customer service, we've got fiscal and finance, we've got all kinds of things going. Let me share a case study of someone who latched onto this particular exercise, as 4 arrows, during her prospecting and what happened. So Bryn Tillman came through our program. Bryn is a social selling expert. We said, okay, let's build out your 4 arrows. She's another overachiever, so she made 5 arrows, against my advice, by the way. I said, dude, please keep it simple. Make it 4. Don't make it 5. Make it 4. She wouldn't listen. She says, David, I'm taking this one piece of paper into an in-person meeting, and the CEOs and the VPs of sales and the VPs of marketing, their index fingers turning blue. I looked at Bryn and I said, what are you talking about? They're turning blue. She says, I slide this across the desk, and they spend the entire meeting pointing and poking and prodding this blue arrow that says, Bryn, this is what we're missing. This is what we need. This is the bridge. This is the connector. This is what we need to do. This is what we've been missing the whole time. This is absolutely it. And she looks at their index finger, because they're poking and prodding and rubbing this blue arrow, and their fingertip is literally turning blue. So first thing that happens, fingertip turns blue. Second thing that happens is they buy. They buy. They buy. It's amazing. So you position yourself as the missing piece. You position yourself as the bridge and the connector from where they are to where they want to be, or from where they are to the ultimate outcome that they want, and you will close more speaking, coaching, consulting, training business. You will close more business for all of your investable opportunities. And here's what it also does, by the way. I'm going to ask you a tough question here on the next slide. You saw it a second ago because I pushed the button too quick. This prevents the biggest objection you're ever going to get. Oh, we already do that. Oh, we already have that. Oh, yeah, we don't need that. We have that covered. Leadership, no, we've already done a leadership program, thanks. Sales training, no, we already have a sales department. Thank you very much. We're good. We don't need that. So truth-telling time, guys, have you lost money ever in your professional career? Speaking, training, coaching, consulting, anything. Have you lost money when someone said to your face, we don't need that. We're already doing that. Just type in the word yes. If you've lost money to we don't need that, we're already doing it, we have that covered, thanks but no thanks, we'll call you, don't call us. Have you lost money on that objection?
Yes, for certain. Yes, oh yeah, all set. Yes, and yes, David.
Lots
of
yes,
business lost over.
Lots of exclamation points, lots of lost dollars. So if you had that tool, which you can now go and make this afternoon, if you had that tool, you'd be in awesome, fantastic shape. Let's see where Bryn ended up. David's program was life-changing in its impact. During our work, I saw a clear path to building a multi-million-dollar business. Even more important, I got into action and I got 2 new clients just doing my homework. With the clarity I got by going through this program, I will triple the size of my business this year and have a lot of CEOs and VPs of marketing and VPs of sales have a permanent blue index finger. So that's what she did there. All right, let's move on. Key 5 out of 7. Tactical prospecting, where the rubber meets the road. Money-making activity. Money-making activity, when you're doing your competitive scan, you will find other speakers and other experts. You will find often their client list. This is simply a list of people that you now have some evidence that they hire speakers. They use speakers. I would look for patterns. I would never troll. I would never mooch. I would never poach another speaker's client list. That is sketchy. That is unethical. That is not cool. When I say look for patterns, you're not doing this with one speaker. You're doing it with 3 or 4 or 5. And you're saying, what's the common thread? Where do the same names start showing up? The same client names start showing up as a consistent pattern, because it's in those associations and those groups and those conferences where obviously something is working. Something is working. So you're going to find the association website. You're going to find the mothership of when you find this kind of common thread, this common DNA. Well, gosh, Teresa's getting hired there, and David's getting booked there, and Susie's getting booked there, and Fred's getting booked, and gosh, I guess this group must hire speakers. This group must hire speakers. So you find the website, You look for the programs chair, the education chair. You look in the conferences tab. You look under upcoming events. You can't find anything there, which would be rare, but you can't find anything there. You can always reach out to the executive director. So that is your point of contact. You're going to find the 50 state chapters under that national association. So if I found a consistent pattern that the American Healthcare Association seems to be hiring speakers left, right, and center, I'm going to go to the AHCA website. I'm going to click on membership. I'm going to click on state affiliates. And oh my goodness, here's my prospecting list. You could buy lists. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff. Why would you? Why in the world would you? I have their name. I have their address. I have their phone number. I have their fax number. I can fax them something. I'm guessing they probably don't receive a lot of faxes, but I could fax them something if I wanted to, Teresa. I think we have to have a whole new module in our program about fax marketing. I think we start faxing people because I haven't gotten a fax in 6 months. I get phone calls, I get emails, I get letters, but I'm serious, man. My fax machine's lonely.
There's something about standing out that can get some attention, that's for sure.
Let me fax you something right now, right? So that's what you do. But tell me that this isn't right under your nose. Because folks, this is right under your nose. And you don't know where to look, and you're not doing the work, and you don't have the strategy and the templates and the tools to operationalize this, and that's just a gosh darn shame. That's a gosh darn shame. Now, more good news is that just one association. What if I go into Google and I'm after engineers? I type in engineering associations. Well, boom, jackpot, I get a whole bunch of things. Here's engineering.com, directory of associations. Watch this, gang. Watch this. Prospect, 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 prospect. Again, I've got multiple lifetimes of business. If I did a high relevance, high value, trusted advisor style outreach campaign, I'm not going to batch and blast. I'm not going to cold call. I'm not going to spam these people with postcards and junk mail. These are my 20, 30, 40 new best friends, and I'm going to treat them like my 20, 30, 40 new best friends. This is a huge, gigantic jackpot. If you guys see the potential of what I just walked you through, please type jackpot in the question box. Maybe I'm blowing in the wind here. Now, I want to, Teresa, read out the names of our jackpot people. I want to do a roll call of people who see the power and potential of this. If you had a marketing program, if you had a high relevance sales approach, how easy it would be for you to find 5, 10, 15 prospects a week to talk to. Just type in jackpot if you're seeing that with me.
Mel says Mel says jackpot. Dave says cha-ching. Eva says jackpot. Jackpot awesome from Morgan Oaks. Kathleen says jackpot. Johanna, jackpot. Janet, Pat, David, Bert, Larry, Terry. They're seeing it, David. They're seeing it. They got it.
All righty. So here's
and Tom says it works. Tom Woods says it works.
There he is, Tom Woods, fabulous, fabulous client of ours, good buddy, and we got to catch up, dude. We got to catch up. I'm just saying.
He's been wanting to say a few words, so maybe during Q&A you can bring him in to share. He's been messaging me, so keep that in mind.
Fantastic. Well, all right. So if Tom can hang out, we'll do it now. Let's do it now.
Let's do it now. Hey Tom, let's do it now. Let's unmute him.
Can you go ahead and do that?
I am all over it. Tom, you're on. Yep.
A little bit closer to the mic, buddy.
A little bit closer, Mike. Tom. You're self-muted on one of them.
Hello?
There's Paula. Hey, Paula.
Okay. Hey, I'm going to bring him over to my computer because he's having problems with his.
Nothing like live and in the moment, folks.
We're doing this live, people. We don't know what's coming, but it's live. Let's see what happens.
Here we go. So, Tom, I think he's expecting me to bring my computer over to him.
So this is the infamous and beautiful Paula, who is a direct support for Mr. Tom. We got the opportunity to work with both of these amazing people.
Hey,
so
Dave.
we're privileged to have you here. Hi, Tom.
Hey there, buddy. Good to hear you.
Hey, good to hear you guys. So I just want to, so everything that David and Teresa are saying please, like, they sign up, for God's sakes, sign up. Now, I like Teresa a little more because she's softer and sweeter.
So true. It is so
David
true.
scares me. David is listen, no, in all honesty, David and Teresa are beyond genius. And so I just want to share with you what David and Teresa teach and what they tell us in these modules works. So I just following David's modules, I got invited to be part of a congressional forum. We did, right? And so I pulled the email list from all the participants in the congressional forum with a national organization called Facing Addiction. And so by pulling that list, doing my 10 by 10 by 10 by 10, I sent them all an email. And within 6 minutes, I got an email back, and they just kept coming. But this is the first email I got back. It's from a doctor up in Baltimore. And she said, Tom, your program is amazing. I'm so thrilled you reached out to us. I would like to set up a phone call with you so we can discuss you coming to Baltimore to make a presentation about your organization, sponsor professional health advisory council meetings on a regular basis. I really believe in workforce recovery solutions would be terrific, since we're really helping as many people as possible. I would also like for you to be an exhibitor at our conference, which attracts over 1,600 attendees who are buyers from all across the country. It's been very successful in our advocacy in recovery.
It's working is what you're saying.
Both at the state and local level and national level. So
awesome.
That email went out. 6 minutes later, I got that, and the emails to everyone else have just kept coming. So I got 3 meetings in 15 minutes this morning, and they're just coming in and coming in and coming in. That's just one little piece of the genius behind this Do It marketing program. It's unbelievable.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Absolutely. Well, and you guys get the credit because you did the work. You get the credit because you did the work. That's and right. You applied and you made it happen.
Well, we were flying blind without you, so
thank you. So spontaneous, unrehearsed client testimonial from Tom and Paula. Thank you guys both very, very much. The nothing Teresa and I like more than client success. We literally wake up every morning so juiced and so jazzed because our clients are reporting back in success after success, check, big check, first check, biggest month ever, all of these different kind of success stories, and that's what makes us super happy. So let's get back to the content. For each association, we got just a couple more things to talk about here. We got 6 and 7, which is going to be fun. But for each association, you've got one national, which is the mothership that we talked about, 50 states, probably 10 more just like them. So you have the audio engineers, you have the video engineers, you have the civil engineers, the mechanical engineers, the electrical engineers. So if you're in the engineering, science, technology world and engineers are your people, I'm guessing there's 10 more adjacent associations. So you have 510 prospects now. You heard what Tom and Paula are doing with just a handful, highly targeted, highly relevant. They're getting meetings. They're getting booked. You get to pick. You get to choose. This is not about, let's reach everybody. It's let's reach the right ones that have the need, the budget, and the desire. So you're going to build a target list that is finite, focused, written, and workable. Finite, focused, written, and workable. Very important. The best thing that I've found for this is a tool called Pipedrive that lets you keep track visually of all of these kind of fun things. So, by the way, if your pipeline, if your sales conversations, going from prospect to contact to first call to having a conversation to follow up with the email, decision call, when are you getting hired, $5,000, $7,500, $10,000. If you're not doing this in some way, shape, or form, then you don't have a professional grade sales component to what you're doing. And we're going to talk about sales coming up. If you'd like to give this Pipedrive tool a free spin, there's a 60-day free trial. I use it. I love it. I share this with everybody, with all of our clients too. doitmarketing.com/pipedrive. That's where to go for the 60-day free trial. Ordinarily, it's a 30-day free trial, but with that special link, you will get a 60-day free trial to give it a spin and make it work. And again, I mentioned earlier, Sales Happen Daily. This is the tool that will help you and support you make sure that when you wake up in the morning, rain or shine, happy or sad, feel like it or not, sales happen daily. And like Tom and Paula were just talking about, sales conversations happen daily, which is a huge component and a huge prerequisite to sales happening daily. So you're not in control of whether they buy or not, but you are absolutely in control of, are you talking to enough of the right people with the right language in the right positions who are in a situation to hire you. And that is completely in our control, and we are completely responsible and completely accountable for making that happen. So case study number 5 is Copy Green. She runs a training company called Greenlight Learning and Development. She's in the automotive industry, so she's out there in the Michigan area. So her clients are GM, Ford, Honda, Acura, Chrysler. Power-packed communication is one of her taglines. Fuel relationships, accelerate results. You can see that up at the top there. I work with companies that want to create customers for life and individuals who want to build relationships that last. So all of that language, we tightened up, we focused. The question is, how much money would a laser-focused, high-value prospecting plan bring in? Probably your answer is, it would bring in a lot. But let's see what it did for Copy at Greenlight. And she had some very nice things to say about our program, including helping us get results. You give us everything we need to do that. But the part I like is what I highlighted. How do I know? I jumped into your program, and after the first week, using the tools I developed with your guidance, I locked in a $60,000 plus contract. So again, the right prospects with the right language, with the right positioning, and the right contact with the marketplace, and you will have incredibly more success than being same old lame-o generic speaker talking to anyone, anytime for any fee. You do not want to be that generic same old lame-o person with the anytime, anyone, any topic, any fee. Number 6 is sales mindset and skill set. And this is where we talk about actually scripting out the exactly what to do and what to say at every single step of the sales and negotiating and closing process. And the first thing you have to work on, and I think where Tom and Paula and so many of our clients have had the real breakthrough, is that what I do is, not me, David, but what you do is incredibly valuable, and what you do is incredibly impactful. So the mindset shift needs to happen first. You are offering tremendous value. You are incredibly valuable. I have yet to meet any of our clients that we've invited into our program that have had a value problem. Very rare is it that already, up and running speakers and consultants and even people who are just starting out, but that have some true, genuine expertise, they say, well, I have no value. I'm worthless. That never happens. Marketing problem? Yes. Sales problem? Yes. Prospecting problem? Yes. Closing problem? Yes. Positioning, messaging problem? Yes. Value problem? No. You are offering tremendous value, and they are looking to serve their audience, members, and team. So when you're hired, they're looking for the connection. That meeting planner, that conference producer, that association executive, that corporate executive, they want to help their people do better. They want to help their audience. They want to help their employees. They want to help their members. And they see you as the bridge. They see you as that conduit to do so. So you have to really up your research and you have to up your relevance. And it's simply an invitation. When you do outreach, the mindset is, I'm simply inviting to ask them how I can help. That is it. So think about these sales roadblocks. Do you have trouble finding buyers who can afford your speaking, coaching, and consulting? Is filling your pipeline a problem. Filling your pipeline with serious prospects who actually have money to spend. Are you having trouble getting initial conversations, initial door opening conversations? Are you having trouble getting second meetings? First conversation goes well, then they disappear in a black hole. Are you having trouble negotiating and getting the fee that you're asking? Are you having trouble closing the deal? If the answer is yes, all of these are indicative of a sales gap and a sales challenge and maybe a sales mindset problem, but certainly a tactical and strategic sales problem that you're not talking to the right people, you're not having those conversations in the right sales language, and they're not connecting what they want and need with what you do. Now, what's ironic and what's sad is they do absolutely want and need what you do. But the way you talk about it blows the sale. The way that you frame it blows the sale. The way that you push and strive and you do the happy puppy sales conversation blows it. So you don't want to do that. Here's the biggest shift. Don't look for ways to sell them your stuff. Do not look for ways to pitch your speaking, your speech, your consulting, your coaching, your back-end services. Do look for ways to solve their problem. Do, please, look for ways to solve their problem. They can pick up the vibe of someone who's genuinely interested in helping them achieve success, and they can also pick up on sales breath, where all you want is the money, and you're just a number, and it's just, okay, let's punch the box, let's book the gig, let's move on, hamster wheel, hunting the next wabbit, whatever you want to call it. So here's the exact scripting. When someone says, hey, David, how much is the program? For the program that we just talked about, that will improve, boost, create, generate. So you're using outcome language. Notice that is outcome language for a program that will create these outcomes that we just talked about and give your folks the exact strategies, mindset, skill set to significantly move the needle on the results you said were the most important to you and the team. The investment's only $5,500. The investment's only $7,500. The investment's only $9,500. The investment's only $45,000. Whatever your number is, the investment is only $5,500. Boom, easy, done. Don't make it a big deal. Don't make it a catastrophe to present your price. How many people have made presenting their price or having that number leave your lips a catastrophe or a disaster or some horrible, nasty words that have to leave your mouth? Type in the word catastrophe in the question box if you have made this into a catastrophe for yourself. I'm not even sure how to spell catastrophe, Teresa. I know you have to
I was just going to say.
You have to run to a coaching call here in a minute, but how many catastrophes do we have?
Oh, we've got Forrest and Sunshine and Johanna and Bert and Titanic train wreck.
That's a big catastrophe, my friends. That is a big catastrophe.
It is.
So don't do that. Here's a bonus tip. Always end your speaking fee with $500. $7,500 is less than $7,000 to the ear. $9,500 sounds less than $9,000 because it ends in the word hundred. The word hundred's a nice, friendly, fuzzy word. Think about a puppy. How much for the puppy? Oh, look, he's so cute. Look at the little black nose. He's cute. He's friendly. He's adorable. He's just $2,500. Just $2,500. By the way, end it in 500 and don't say the word dollars. Don't say the word dollars. How much is it for everything we talked about? I've got great news. It's probably less than you think. It's only $7,500. It's only $5,500. It's only $6,500. And then you use the phrase, literally use this phrase, please. Boom, easy, done. Boom, easy, done. Don't tell them. You're saying it for your benefit. The words are, it's like, it's a big catastrophe. It's like, well, David, how much is it? Well, for the program we just talked about that delivers outcome 1 and result 2 and outcome 3 and impact 4, I have good news. It's a lot less than you think. It's only $7,500. Boom, easy, done. When I say boom, easy, done, the last thing that has left my mouth is not the number. I just say everyone pays $7,500. Everyone pays $5,500. Everyone pays $4,500. It's natural. It's comfortable. It's easy. I'm not making it a catastrophe to present my price. It's $4,500. Boom, easy, done. And they go, oh my God, that's a lot. Now they have an out of proportion reaction to your own. When you're saying, oh my God, it's a lot. And by the way, it's not a lot. That's like chump change. If your fee is less than $4,500, you're not even a serious professional. Just between you, me, and the lamppost. That is not a lot of money. It needs to be not a lot of money to you before it becomes not a lot of money to them. Huge, 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 huge. Case study number 6. We're in the home stretch here. Jim Bob Salisbury, one of my favorite clients, one of my first clients actually that came through an earlier version of this program. He's in the education market. He does teacher in-service days. He talks to school districts and school principals. He says to me, let me share this before I even bring up the template for you. He says, David, one thing in your program has been making me $10,000 a month every single month since our program finished. Now, when someone says that, you go, hang on, hold on, wait a second. Which one? Which one was it? Which template, which idea, which strategy? He says, you know what? It was that cold call email. I am hand selecting very relevant school districts, conferences, principal conferences, superintendent conferences, state, local, national, and I'm sending them a customized version of this template. And you guys will get this, you'll get this template, so don't worry about it. You can take a screenshot, have fun with it, whatever. I said, okay, well, how are the numbers coming? How are the numbers working on this? And he says, David, I'll tell you exactly how it works. I'm doing 5 of these per day. I don't care if it's morning, noon, or night, I send 5 out per day. High relevance, laser, not shotgun, hand selected. I pick 5 and I email them out. So that means 25 contacts per week. I get 10 to 12 responses. A response means drop dead. A response means we don't hire speakers. A response means, yes, we'd like to talk to you. It's just 10 to 12 respond. Out of that 10 to 12, there's 3 or 4 serious prospect conversations. Out of those 3 or 4 serious prospect conversations, I close 1 sale. I book 1 speech. I get 1 program on the calendar. Now, he's in the education world, so his fees are going to be lower than in the business world. $2,500, $3,000, really $3,500 is kind of the max in that world. But he's doing this 4 times a month. 4 times a month, like clockwork, based on sending 5 emails a day. Can you guys send 5 emails a day? If you can send 5 emails a day, type in 5 emails. I'm not sure. This might be beyond most of you. I'm not sure you can send 5 emails a day. Sounds pretty hard to me. 5 emails, 5 emails, 5 emails, 5. Type in 5 emails a day if you'd be willing to do 5 emails a day to get $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 gig 4 times a month on your calendar. I'm not sure you're up for it. I'm not sure you can handle it. Maybe you can. Maybe you can't. I don't know. 5 emails, 5 emails, 5 emails, 5 emails. How many folks are in the 5 email club? Billy, Mike, Russ, Bert, Mel, Morgan, Joanna. Tom says send 25 already. Excellent. Dominique, Terry, Brenda. Yeah. Good. I like it. And again, this is one strategy. One strategy. Do you have to use all the strategies? No. You have to use the ones that work. So Jim Bob says using just one of the strategies from your mentoring is consistently bringing in $10,000 a month. Working on my business week in and week out with the focus, the momentum, the detailed implementation assignments makes all the difference. I wasn't sure of the ROI of spending this kind of money. Turns out, dollar for dollar, this program is the #1 best investment I've made into my professional speaking career. And obviously, you see the results and you see the outcomes. So number 7, last one, home stretch. Here we go. Sponsors and speaking, sponsors and success, sponsors and your ongoing revenue generation machine, your leverage sources is what this is about. So I think sponsored speaking is really the future. It is the smartest, highest leverage way of speaking. And when I say sponsored speaking, let me break that down and explain what this is. This is speaking not for the speech, but it's speaking to help a client of yours market, advertise, sell, or promote to their prospects and their stakeholders. So it's like a triangle, right? There's the company that brings you in, there's you, And then there's the group that the company wants you to speak to on their behalf to make them look like a hero and a rock star to that particular population. So this is much bigger scope, much bigger impact. You will close much more volume. You're not selling 1 gig, but you're selling 5 or 10 or 15 or 20. There's much more customization and tailoring to a sponsored speaking engagement. It could be national or international or global. It is not a speaker model. Let me emphasize this. It's not a speaker model. It's a problem solver model. Problem solver model. So here's some examples. Maybe a manufacturer hires you to talk to their distributors, not to the manufacturers at headquarters, but they want to do a program for their distributors so that the manufacturer looks better and looks like a hero to these distributors, and the distributors will then buy more product from the manufacturer. It could be a bank that brings you in to present to their high net worth clients. It could be a financial products company that brings you in to talk to their advisors who sell their financial products. It could be a Fortune 500 corporation that brings you in to talk to their minority supplier network or their women-owned business network. It could be a pharmaceutical company that hires you to talk to their doctors and nurses and patients. Not about the drugs, but about your topic, so they will think more highly of that drug or that medical device company, and they will then prescribe more, and they will then use more of that pharmaceutical or medical device product. So you see how these triangles work? It's a very, very intriguing, very, very powerful business model. It could be a software company like Microsoft who wants to gift you to all of the small resellers and all the small computer consultants that resell their Microsoft Office or Microsoft CRM and there's thousands and thousands of these. I mean, even the Microsoft CRM, which is one of their products, that dealer conference has tens of thousands of people at it. And what do they need? They need speakers, they need experts, they need workshop presenters, and they pay these people. They pay these people. Trust me, it's huge. And you don't get paid once, you get paid 10 or 15 or 20 times. So case study number 7 is Mike Roby. Mike Roby is a fantastic guy, works in the financial services industry on sales and business development for financial advisors. He decided to put a sponsorship program together for the financial products companies like John Hancock, who have financial products, and then they would send him out on their dime to talk to all the financial advisors that are in a position to recommend and resell John Hancock investments. So he's got a sponsor packet here, speaking and media tour, demographic information. We put all of this together. We got him a column in Bank Advisor magazine. We did an entire campaign. And I should say Mike did an entire campaign to put these pieces in place with our coaching and our mentoring and our support. Very, very successful, very, very exciting. Knowing that what I just laid out here now, that there's this whole new kind of speaking that's available to you, let's go to the question box. Is there a sponsor model that makes sense for you? Is there a sponsor model that makes sense for you? Can you see some of these triangles happening in your business where someone can hire you to present not for their own company, but to put you in front of other groups that they would like to influence, that they would like to look good in front of, that they would like to persuade into some sort of advocacy or good PR or some other kind of mode? And just type in the word yes. Type in the word yes if some of this sponsor talk is resonating with you. Type in yes, type in the word sponsor, whatever it is. I'm just wondering if some of the light bulbs are going off for you. Is there a sponsor model that comes to mind? Is there a sponsor model that makes sense for you in your business? So Sunny says not yet, and that's a perfectly good answer. Not yet. Denise says yes. Terry says yes, yes, yes. Mel says feels a little scary. Billy says yeah, baby, yeah. Linda says yes. Tom is yes. Jim says my own company. Morgan says yes. Etrulia says not coming to me yet. Janet says yes. David says yes. Manufacturers. Shell says yes. I've been exploring this. Good. Cool. Good. Dorothy says think so, but need to check some things. Forrest says yes. Mary says yes. Looking into this already. Good. 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 Great work, guys. Great work. So let's see where Mike ended up. David helped me negotiate a sponsorship deal worth tens of thousands of dollars, brought several of my product development ideas to life, advised me on how to reposition my expertise, facilitated my getting a column in my industry's leading publication, and added value in other ways I can't even measure. So basically, as far as the sponsor angle, you saw earlier at the top of our call, that worked really well for Mike Thompson. And no, your name doesn't have to be Mike, but it worked well for Mike Thompson. It worked well for Mike Roby. It can work well for you. It can work well for you. So I'm not exactly sure why you showed up today. It could be several different reasons. You're a seasoned pro who wants to get more gigs at higher fees. You're an author or an expert who wants to speak more and earn more money. You're a coach or consultant who wants to turn speaking into clients. Maybe you just want to impact more people and raise your fees and make a serious business out of this and get out of low fee and no fee hell. So now you have a choice, my friends. You can keep going the way you were going 90 minutes ago. Old results, underbooked, underpaid, keep being confused, keep spinning your wheels, still not earning what you deserve, not reaching that next level of income, whether that's 5K to 10 per month, 10K per month to 20 a month, whatever it is. I mentioned we've helped folks go from 5 figures to 6, 6 figures to multi-6, multi-6 to 7, whatever that next level is for you, whatever level you're stuck at now, you can stay there. With no guidance, no accountability, no support, it will be a hard, lonely road. Or that can all end today. And we can diagnose with you what's really going on in your speaking-driven business. We can find the strategic gaps. We can refocus, reframe, reboot. We can look at what needs to be fixed when it comes to your messaging, when it comes to your packaging, when it comes to positioning and pricing, when it comes to marketing and sales and getting the fees that you deserve. We can fill in what's missing for you to consistently get clients that you love and finally earn what you deserve. And the place to do that is the same place that I mentioned during our little midpoint break. It's doitmarketing.com/apply. I'm going to pop that back into the chat just so you have it handy one more time. doitmarketing.com/apply. And that is available. These calls, we've got some time with Teresa and some time with me and some time with Rick. I think for the rest of this week, we may have 1 or 2 slots. I think we may have already had to open up Monday before Teresa had to jet off to her next commitment. But it is, in fact, doitmarketing.com/apply. We may already be into next week to talk to folks and help folks. But if that's the case, then the calendar will show that for you. Here's what we're doing. We have set aside some time in the next few days. So Thursday, Friday, Monday, possibly even Tuesday, we can open up to help you personally about applying these 7 critical pillars of a speaking-driven business to your world, your business, your market, your audience, and your buyers, so that you can start seeing these kinds of results today. The cost of this strategy session is free, and it's not for everyone. So we don't want to waste your time, and we don't want to waste our time. Here's who it's not for. If building a high-fee speaking-driven business is not your number one priority over the next few months, don't even bother. We only talk to folks who are serious and committed and decisive. If this is a maybe kind of sort of someday thing, forget it. It's not for you if you don't know what you want to be when you grow up. So this is not for dabblers and hobbyists and amateurs. If you refuse to follow a proven process, and if you don't take action on instructions, you're going to make us nuts and you're not going to get results, so don't even bother to apply. If you refuse to change your low-fee mindset and your low-fee business model, obviously this is not for you because you need to be coachable. Even during our strategy session, you need to be coachable. You're a fake expert, and we get some of these once in a blue moon. Hopefully no one here. But if your program or topic doesn't truly help people and companies to improve, and you're a shyster and a scammer and a goofball, absolutely not. Won't take your call. If you're down to your last few dollars and you need to make money like tomorrow and this week, there is no get rich quick nonsense in this program. This program is get rich smart. It is not get rich quick. And that kind of stuff makes me crazy. So this is for you when you go to doitmarketing.com/apply. This is for you if you're serious and decisive and committed to making your business profitable over the next 60 days. This is for you whether you are brand new to speaking or a seasoned pro. And again, you saw Mike Thompson, 30-year veteran. 30-year veteran still did not have this all dialed in. He's got it beautifully dialed in now, but did not have it dialed in when he came to us. Whether you've got your niche or message fully nailed down or not. Whether you are in it full-time or just planning your corporate escape. And again, we've worked with folks 20 years into the business. We've worked with folks and have great success with folks still doing the transition out of the day job. Whether you've gotten paid speaking gigs or not, paid a lot, paid a little, paid often, paid sometimes, paid never. We've taken folks from zero to hero and average to awesome here. Whether you're willing to if you're willing to follow a proven process to ramp up your revenue, and if you take mentorship and direction well, then we're going to have a very productive call when you go to doitmarketing.com/apply. And if you're serious and you want to put another 10K to 20K in your pocket over the next 60 to 90 days and build a predictable flow of clients and cash, then we would like to talk to you. We'd be willing to help you. Here's why we're doing this. On this strategy call, we're going to help you get total clarity about exactly what you want your business to look like and the exact steps you should take to achieve your goals. If you want our help and if we think it's a good fit, we may invite you to work with us and we may not. Either way, and that's completely neutral, and we'll make that decision after we talk. Whether you get invited in or not, my promise and Teresa's promise and Rick's promise is it's going to be the most valuable 45 minutes that you're going to invest to grow your speaking-driven business and help you get results, whether we see there's a next step or not. So it's doitmarketing.com/apply. That's where to go. We're now going to go into our Q&A. If you are ready for a rapid breakthrough, there are some spaces. I think we're into next week now. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that the rest of this week is gone by now. Spaces are very limited. These are not little quickie, goofy calls. These are deep dive, consultative strategy calls. If you meet the criteria I just laid out, I invite you to apply for one of these calls at doitmarketing.com/apply. Let's go to the question box. What questions do you have about today's teaching content? What questions do you have about anything that you're working on in your speaking-driven business? I know that we had some questions before. Teresa might have messaged people, hey, save that for the end. If you did save your question for the end, now's the time to ask it and type it in the question box just so I have it at the top of the queue. And I will cycle through here and I will answer the questions as they come in. So let's see what people have here. Opening up the right screen, the wrong screen, all the screens. All right. So Morgan says, this was amazing, David. Dr. Cass speaks very highly of you, and she is right on. Thank you, Morgan. Thank you so much. I hugely appreciate those kind words. Joanna says, thank you. Tom says, sponsorship is the future. Work smart. Good, good, good. Let me scroll back and see what other questions came in. And again, I'm getting kind of just people are typing like bananas here. If you have a question that you typed in earlier, please type it again so I can see it here at the top without having to scroll back through hundreds and hundreds of comments. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for that. Let's see. Terry says, ding, ding, ding. I guess that was a good hit there on something for you. And let me go back into this other window. All right, so Mel says, I feel intimidated like a fraud because I don't have a promo speaking video. Though I've done a good amount of speaking with high reviews, will people hire you to speak without a video promo? So, when you ask a very literal question, you will get a very literal answer. The answer is yes. You will get hired. Now, it depends on the kind of speaker that you are. So if you are, and the way that we kind of break this down, the way to think about it, Mel, is are you primarily hired as a performer? Are you hired as a teacher? Or are you hired as a catalyst? So most speakers, most speaking-driven professionals fall into one of those three categories. It's when you speak, when you coach, when you consult. Are you hired as a performer, right? And usually performer just does speaking. They don't do coaching and consulting. Are you hired for the show, meaning you're a performer? Performers need video on day one. I'm really sorry. If you're a magician, you're a clown, you're a humorist, you're hired for your fantastic teeth and your great hair and you're an acrobat and whatever. If it's really about the show or the performance or the comedy or the improv, then you need a video drop dead on day one. Sorry. If you're in the other two categories, meaning that you're primarily hired as a teacher for your content, or you're primarily hired as a catalyst and you're a change agent, you do not absolutely drop dead have to have a video on day one. Many of our clients are getting booked at $5,500, $7,500, $9,500, and they don't have a video because they're hired not for the show, not for the performer part of this, but they're hired because of their content. They're hired because of their expertise. They're hired because of their experience. They're hired because of their point of view and their contrarian opinion. They're hired because they're a breath of fresh air and it's exactly what that company or that association or that group needs to hear. Now, you will never be hired, video or not, if you're a same-o, lame-o speaker. If you look the same, sound the same, act the same as everybody else, then you're competing as a commodity. And video or not, guess what? The problem there is your video is going to look like everyone else's video too. And your website looks like everyone else's website. And your one sheet looks like everyone else's one sheet. So now, Teresa and I call this, you're a spreadsheet speaker. You're a spreadsheet speaker because in the spreadsheet, they're going to put Mary, Sunny, Dorothy, Russ, Tom, Joanna, Morgan, Mel, Denise, and Pat. That's what the Excel spreadsheet's going to say. And it's going to be, went to the website, read their blog, grabbed their one sheet, and then a number. $4,500, what's her fee? $3,500, what's his fee? $7,500, what's her fee? $6,500. When you're in the spreadsheet and you're a spreadsheet speaker and your website looks the same, sounds the same, acts the same, the one sheet's the same, if you have a video, the video's not going to help you because the video's going to look the same. You're in the spreadsheet, they go eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and they pick the lowest price. I'm really sorry, gang, that's bad news. Bad news for Mel, bad news for Sunny and Pat and Denise, bad news for everybody. So the video's not going to save you and video's not going to break you. So I think it's a lot of myths. There's so many myths in the speaker marketing world and so much conflicted, crazy advice that, you always have to have a video and never negotiate your fee and never speak for free. You know what? Strategically speaking for free, and underline 3 times the word strategically, can be one of your best tools. Negotiate your fee? Yeah, if you negotiate smartly, absolutely negotiate your fee. The fee doesn't change, but the mix of financial and non-financial compensation might be rebalanced. The fee is the fee is the fee. We never cave on price, but we negotiate the fee. What I hate, you guys, and thank you, there's like a whole bunch of people still here hanging out. This is awesome. We're having a little campfire chat here with the Q&A. People will quote me back and they'll say, David, I was on your webinar. David, I graduated from your program. David, I love your, I'm so glad when you said, never speak for free. I never said never speak for free. I literally never said that. It's like in the movie Casablanca. play it again, Sam. Humphrey Bogart never said, play it again, Sam. It's not in the script. It's not in the movie. It's not in the DVD. It's not in the Blu-ray. It's not in the outtakes. He never said, play it again, Sam. He never said those words. He said different words that were misinterpreted, turned around, abbreviated, and that became the myth and the legend. So again, I'm far from Casablanca, trust me, guys. But the myth is David Newman says never speak for free. Anyone in this business that says never and always, run the other way. Just please run the other way. There is no such thing as never, and there's no such thing as always, and that is cookie cutter advice from someone who doesn't know what they're talking about. So, man, we got started on speaker video. I went off on this other crazy rant. Let me get back into the questions, but thank you, Mel. I appreciate the question. The imposter syndrome, by the way, I think we all know this. Every smart, accomplished person on this masterclass either has a little bit or has had a lot of the imposter syndrome. I'm not going to call out the rock stars and the geniuses, but I'm going to say words like, oh, I don't know, Shell and David and Tom and Dorothy and Mary and Terry and Billy are all very accomplished. I know these people personally. Very accomplished, very smart, very successful people. No last names are being used here. And I guarantee you, they have all had the experience of, oh my gosh, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. Who am I to charge this money? They're not going to buy. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm talking about, by the way, people with PhDs. I'm talking about people with thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of hours of professional expertise and experience. These are the people that have that imposter syndrome, and we short circuit that, we unplug that, we rewire your brain, and we get you out in the speaking-driven marketplace making money. So if that sounds good, maybe you should book a call. Maybe you should grab one of the few remaining calendar slots at doitmarketing.com/apply and see if we can help you get over that. All right. So is cold emailing a form of spam? So cold emailing is not a form of spam. My definition of spam, by the way, is irrelevance. Irrelevance. If I've done my homework, and if you go back to that template, by the way, there is a research step. There is a relevance step, a relevance check that you need to go through. So Russ, I'm not talking about generically, do you hire speakers? Do you hire speakers? Do you hire speakers? Do you hire speakers? Because that kind of cold call email gets deleted. The kind of cold call email, Russ, that you need to send is specific, highly relevant, highly personalized and targeted for that association, for their next meeting that's happening in Denver, Colorado in February of 2018, where you've already looked at the program, you've looked at the call for speakers, you've looked at their past couple years of programming, you're tapping the meeting planner on the shoulder, and you say, you know what, I'm finding a gap in your programming. I think based on my research of your industry, they'd really be hungry for X, Y, and Z. Can we have a short conversation to explore? So you've done like 5 touch points of homework. Is that spam, buddy? I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. I will tell you, none of what we teach is about, and I said this out loud, but maybe your ears weren't working. None of this is about mass marketing. None of this is about batch and blast. Let's send out 10,000 postcards. Let's send out 10,000 emails. Let's do 100 cold calls a day. That's what idiots do. So Russ, I'm guessing you're not an idiot. That doesn't appeal to you probably. So that's not what you want to do. And that's not what we recommend that you do either. That's not what we recommend that you do either. All right. What else do we have here? Sunny says she has a program. It's an immersion style program where I work with them 6 days a week for 6 to 12 months. Oh my God. I'm not sure what that is, but I guarantee you that's not a speech. So that's going to be a tough sell. No one's going to have time for a full immersion program 6 days a week, unless it's done virtually or with like short 3-minute videos, 5-minute videos. There may be a speaking driven strategy on top of that back end offering, but it's going to be a very hard sell to sell that 6 to 12 month transformational program right out of the gate if they have never had any other experience of you. All right. What else? Scrolling back here. Denise says, thank you. You're very welcome. Pat says, always enlightening. Thanks. Work to do. Well, yeah. So again, Pat, you can do the work alone. You can do the work with our help, at least for an hour, when you go to doitmarketing.com/apply. So I like working with smart people. So maybe you want to think about doing that. All right. Mel says that's super helpful, and I definitely fall into the latter two categories. So you're more of a you're responding to our performer and teacher and catalyst, and you're more of a teacher and a catalyst. So that's fantastic. You're very welcome. David says, I'm a new mortgage lender with a speaking background on the topic of mindset and creating trust. I want to differentiate myself from all other lenders by attracting and earning the trust of realtors via free speaking engagements to real estate offices, real estate associations, etc., etc. In essence, I want to offer free classes to realtors to help them build their business and invite them to trust me with their clients. Okay, so that, David, that is a 78.5% good strategy. I'll tell you the 22.5% that I don't like, or 21.5% that I don't like. When people pay, they pay attention. When they don't pay, they don't pay attention. And this leads to a descending kind of doom loop, a de-escalating doom loop, meaning they don't pay attention. They don't pay attention, they don't respect you. They don't respect you, they don't implement what you're talking about. They don't implement what you're talking about, they don't get results. They don't get results, you're just another same old lame-o talking head speaker. So I like the idea of a speaking strategy to build your platform, but I would recommend that it's a paid speaking strategy. And this is for everybody. This is absolutely for everybody. And this is fantastic, guys. We finished our content like 35 minutes ago, and there's still 63 fabulous people here, so thanks for hanging out by the campfire. Here's the deal. You can do speaking, you can do lead-generating speaking, and that is either for a reduced fee or a waived fee. And that's fine if you pick the group and you have a high degree of confidence that your next bunch of leads and your next bunch of paying clients are hiding in that audience. That's a lead-generating speech. You can do a revenue-generating speech, right? Your dream revenue opportunities that we talked about. And that is, they have my fee, they want my content, they suffer from the problems that I'm brilliant at solving, and I'm going to go and pick up a $45, $55, $75, $8,500 check. Now, the beauty of this, David, is that there are groups that are both. There are real estate groups and conferences where you will be in a prospect-rich environment for your lead generation, and you will pick up a check for $45, $55, $7,500. So, yay on lead-generating speaking. Yay on revenue-generating speaking. Double yay when it's both lead generating and revenue generating. The problem is that too many of us are in front of groups where it's neither. There's no good prospects in that room, and you didn't get paid to show up. Or you got paid some low fee, no fee kind of BS nonsense. So I don't care. At the end of the day, I don't care if you got paid to speak. I really don't. My model is a speaking-driven business. So listen very carefully to this distinction. I don't care if you got paid to speak. I care very much that you got paid because you spoke. Let me repeat that. I care very much for all of my clients. I care very much that you got paid because you spoke. So either you got a check because you spoke, and that's awesome, or you got clients, full fee paying clients because you spoke, and that's awesome. But if you're in front of the wrong room with the wrong people who are there for the wrong reason, and you're not getting paid, and you're not getting booked, and nothing is working, and then people say, woe is me, the sky is falling, there is no speaking industry, there are no paid speakers, everything is hard, everything is impossible, there must be some myth and some propagated myth that there's a paid speaking business, that means that you're not holding yourself accountable for sales happen daily, and you're also not holding yourself accountable for connecting with the right quality and quantity of prospects that you need to be talking to. So it's the right prospects, the right conversation, the right messaging at the right fee level, and you will start to unlock this machine that will start to put 2 or 3 or 4 speaking engagements on your calendar in front of the right groups at the right fee that you know you deserve, and there's spin-off business, and there's follow-up business, and there's relationships with your mortgage people, and. So whatever back-end professional products and services and programs you offer, a lot of us offer coaching or consulting or online courses or any of that stuff is great, but the sharp tip of the arrow is going to be a speaking-driven business, and every time that you get up on a platform, you need to get paid somehow in some way. Get paid with leads, get paid with money, or get paid with both. Never step on a stage where the answer is neither. Never step on a stage where the answer is neither. Very, very, very important. Okay. What else? Larry's saying, Larry. So Larry, I guess you're also fessing up to the imposter syndrome sometimes. We all have it. I have yet to meet a very successful person who has not had the imposter syndrome. I've met a lot of goofballs who have never had the imposter syndrome, but I've never met really super successful people that still to this day don't think that, oh my gosh, I'm still not good enough. I got 5 PhDs. I've got a whole bunch of letters after my name. I've only been doing this for 23 years, so I'm probably still not ready. I'm probably still not good enough. There's probably still people better than me. Here's the news, guys. There's always going to be someone better than you, and there's always going to be someone cheaper than you. This might be good news. It might be terrible news for you. There's always going to be someone better than you. Deal with it, guys. Sorry. Does that mean you should fold up your marbles and go home? Fold up your tent? Take home your marbles? I'm not sure if you can fold up marbles. Does that mean you should fold up your tent and go home? Oh boy, someone's smarter than me. Uh-oh. I'm not the smartest person on the planet. I guess there's no business for me. Not true. Not true at all. And there's always going to be someone cheaper. Well, David, how can I charge $6,500 when this gal over here is $3,500? How can I compete with these low bump? Okay, it's Timex versus Rolex. Think about that. A Timex watch is $80. A Rolex watch is $8,000. Is Rolex losing a minute of sleep because there are cheaper watches? They're not. They're not. You know what Rolex does 24/7, 365? Rolex spends 100% of its time, effort, energy, all of its stores, all of its jewelers, all of its advertising, all of its being. Rolex focuses 1000% on finding Rolex buyers. Rolex doesn't waste a second trying to connect with Timex buyers. Because guess what, gang? The Timex buyer will never buy a Rolex watch. Never gonna happen. Wrong market, wrong audience, wrong need, wrong fit, wrong. You're a Rolex, and you're trying to sell to a Timex and getting them to pay you $8,000 when in their mind a watch costs $80. A Rolex, by the way, Rolexes start at $8,000 and they go up to the 6 figures and the multi-6 figures. You get like an antique watch, you get the Paul Newman original Paul Newman watch, that's $10 million. But Timex watch, $80. I'm not going to do really well. You're not going to do really well trying to sell an $8,000 watch to an $80 buyer. So here's the tip. Stop talking to $80 buyers. Stop talking to your Timex people. And do what Rolex does. Spend all of your time, effort, energy, creativity, resources connecting with Rolex buyers who are qualified, interested, hungry, and ready to invest with you. All right. Fantastic call. Thank you for all the questions. Still 60-some people here towards the end. Thanks for hanging out. You guys are awesome. I'm looking forward to speaking with you. Teresa's looking forward to speaking with you when you book your time at doitmarketing.com/apply. We are well into next week for some of these appointments. I'm looking forward to speaking with you. The whole team is looking forward to seeing how we can help. And we will talk to you guys next time. Thanks. See you soon.